everyone, we're the Violet Reality. I'm Casey Rain.
I'm Kim Camellia, and
welcome to This Week in Prince, episode number 7.
Cue music. Paisley Park is now allowed to be open all the time, so...
Finally. If you've been watching our last few videos, you know that it's been an ongoing process since they opened about getting the right permissions from the council and stuff, and that has now happened.
Yeah, and so they will be taking bookings till when?
Right now, so you can go on the website and you can book up until the end of the year. It is open permanently, so I guess every month they'll probably start issuing, the tickets for the, few months after that, or however it's going to work. But they celebrated, the mayor of Chanhassen was at Paisley Park with Kirky J and Trevor Guy and all the staff. So it's official, and he has marked October 28th, which is the day that all happened, as being Paisley Park Day.
So now we've got a Prince Day and a Paisley Park Day. How amazing is that?
So if you were thinking about making a trip to Minneapolis and going to Paisley Park, and you were a bit worried because you didn't know what was happening, fear no more, it is permanent. Paisley Park Museum is now a permanent fixture.
So the dates that you will book, you will actually be able to go there.
Exactly. So let's move on.
Yes. So there was a rumor this week that apparently Jay-Z met up with Tyka and her husband Maurice to discuss buying Prince's vault, so all of his unreleased music.
Yep, so TMZ reported this story, and they had a picture of Jay-Z with Maurice, Tyka's husband. Londell McMillan, who is one of the two people in charge of Prince's music in the state, has denied it, that this is not happening. He didn't, go into detail about it, but he said this is absolutely not happening. We don't really know much about, what kind of terms were discussed or anything like that, what kind of money Jay-Z was looking at, or, what kind of rights he was looking for. We really don't know anything about it. All we know is that supposedly Maurice and Tyka met up with Jay-Z to discuss a potential sale. That's all we know.
Yeah, and so as you all know, most of Prince's catalog is on Tidal, and that's the only streaming service that it's on, and that's owned by Jay-Z.
Exactly. So Prince had been working with Jay-Z right up until his passing. In fact, he gave Black Sweat from the final Atlanta show to Tidal literally a few days before he passed away. So up until his passing, he was working with Jay-Z. Whether that means Jay-Z should continue to have any kind of access to Prince's music is really up for debate, really. So let us know what you think in the comments.
Yeah.
Should it go on Tidal with Jay-Z or not, or should they keep their options open and see what happens? So let us know.
Yeah. So moving on to that, there is a singer called Kat Graham. I don't know if any of you know her, but maybe if you're a bit younger, you may know her as an actress from The Vampire Diaries, and then she brought out a couple of albums some years ago, but she is bringing out a new album next year,
And so she did an interview recently and said that she worked with Prince on a few songs, which we didn't know about. The suggestion was that these Prince and Kat Graham songs will be getting released next year.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll have to wait and find out. In the last few years, Prince had done songs with people like Rita Ora. Supposedly there was a possibility that he did something with Rihanna. There were rumours about that. But most of these songs, we didn't get to hear, with the exception of Ain't About to Stop, Prince and Rita Ora, which got released on Prince's album Hit and Run Phase 1. So really, we'll have to see. Any deals that may have been struck, before Prince passed may not even still be valid. So Kat Graham may have to be sort of renegotiating with people running Prince's estate to get these songs out, depending on, how it went down at the time.
Yeah, but it's quite interesting how we see that Prince has worked with a couple of artists as well, which we didn't know about at all, which he never really mentioned, but still he was working with them, so I think that's quite cool. So maybe there's loads and loads and loads of newer artists that he's worked with as well that we don't know about, and maybe they're amazing collaborations that we've yet to discover.
Exactly. So time will tell on that.
We've got some really awesome news as well, and it's mostly about ourselves because we were on a podcast and we were talking about one of our most favorite albums, and both of us think that it's really, really underrated as a Prince album. It's a podcast about the album Come.
Exactly. So some of you guys may have heard our appearance on the MJ Cast recently. So we did another podcast. We seem to have made this a bit of a habit. This one's for a different show called Transatlantic Rebels. and we did was it about 2 hours we did?
Yeah,
about a 2-hour
maybe
podcast.
even 3. We talked about it for a bit too long, but then again, you cannot talk about any Prince album for too long because there's always loads of things to do.
So we discussed everything about Come.
Yeah.
Pretty much went into massive detail, making of the album and all the different songs, and it was really fun. It was super fun. In fact, the host of the show, which is my friend Jessel, he actually approached me and saying, do you want to come on the show and talk about an underrated album? And I immediately replied to his email and said, yeah, I want to come and talk about Come by Prince. That's the album that I want to talk about. So I didn't even have to think about it for 10 seconds. We sorted all that out and we did it, and it's coming out soon, so look out for that.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Yeah, we'll most likely put a link on our Twitters and our Facebook when it comes out.
Stay tuned for that. Yeah.
And we'll also link you to the rest of his podcast because they're interesting to check out.
Next up, there is an awesome fan campaign going on right now, starting to gain some momentum. If you are in the UK, as we are, or if you follow pop culture to a heavy, heavy degree, you know that the Christmas #1 single in the UK is a big deal. It's, you know, the biggest week of the year in terms of sales, and any song that gets that coveted spot is going to get, you know, a lot of attention. In the last sort of 10 years, campaigns have been run through social media to get unexpected songs to Christmas #1. So, for example, there was a successful campaign that got Killing in the Name by Rage Against the Machine to #1, as, you know, a massive middle finger to the Simon Cowell X Factor establishment, who typically always try and push whatever crap they have from their shows into the #1 spot, all that rubbish. So this year we got a Prince fan campaign starting to pick up to get Prince to the Christmas #1 in the UK this year. So it's early days. At the moment, the people running the campaign and the people supporting the campaign at the moment, everyone's trying to decide, you know, what song it should be. So there's a short list with a bunch of songs on there. If you go to twitter.com/Prince4 so Prince 4 Xmas, then you'll see all the details about the campaign. There is a Facebook link on there as well. You can vote for what song you think it should be. I personally voted for the song Paisley Park. I picked a few, but that's my #1 pick. I think with the museum and all that stuff, it's very appropriate. I wanted to suggest Gold, but apparently it's not available for download on iTunes and stuff like that at the moment.
No, it's not actually.
So that makes it kind of ineligible for this campaign. The other thing that might happen is that Warner Brothers may decide to push a particular song from the new Prince Forever compilation, in which case I think it would be a good idea for the fan community to rally around whatever song that is, purely because then there's a big media campaign going on as well.
Yeah, so if you want to join the voting, then you should definitely go to the Twitter and tell them what song you want to become #1, and it would be so great if the #1 Christmas song here in the UK could be a Prince song, because if that would happen, we're gonna ask all of you all over the world, all of you viewers, to listen to that radio station at that time and to just celebrate with us. We might even do a live stream if that happens. I think we'll do that. We'll do a video live stream listening to the radio.
So let's see how the campaign goes. Make sure you get on the Twitter and the Facebook and put in your suggestions for songs and how we can, you know, give this some steam.
Yes.
You know, even if you're not in the UK, we would appreciate your support in getting the word out there.
Definitely.
And so we'll just see what happens.
Next up, Record Store Day this year is on the 25th of November, and we just heard the news that they're gonna be reissuing this beautiful picture of the sexy motherfucker.
Yes. So if you don't know about Record Store Day, it's a pretty big deal. It was started a few years ago to encourage the sale of vinyl. Lots of artists have issued special releases for Record Store Day. People like you know, Jack White from the White Stripes have been very vocal of Record Store Day. You know, vinyl sales are going up. It's a very cool day. There's always cool stuff coming out, limited edition stuff as well. So
it's like loads of stuff is getting reissued and things as well, just for that particular day, so you can buy it on that day. So we definitely encourage you to dive into your record stores that are still around.
Support your local record store.
Yeah, exactly, and make sure that they stay on existing, that they keep on existing, because what we see is that a lot of people from our generations as well start having another interest in records, because I think that most of the gems that you can find, most of the best grooves are on records.
Yeah.
And not on CD or MP3 or anything.
One thing about digital is that it did kill like most of the cool record stores, which sucked, because like growing up I used to go into record stores all the time and just flick through everything and look at cool stuff, and sadly, you know, there's not that many of them around anymore. So Record Store Day helps you support your local record store, ensure it stays in business, and make sure that vinyl does not die. Vinyl will never die.
No.
We love vinyl.
Yes.
It's just fantastic. So make sure you go down Record Store Day,
Yeah.
get yourself a copy of this Sexy MF picture disc. We'll be buying it again,
yeah.
even though we already have it. We have the original, but we'll be getting the reissue as well because
We
that's
will,
important.
yes.
That's important.
We'll have two of them with like little twins, like these two behind us, which we're going to talk about because
Which leads us on to the next thing.
1999 turned 34 this week, and 1999 is just wow, it's just amazing. It had hits like obviously 1999, Little Rock Cafe. We all remember the video clip with the shiny coat. We were all like, oh my god, this man's amazing, doing splits on the stage and everything like that. So yeah, 1999, 34. So can you believe it was released 34 years ago? It still sounds amazing.
I think there's a very strong argument to be made that 1999 is perhaps the single most influential album in Prince's catalogue because it led to so much. It was so influential to such a huge amount of people. It defined the Minneapolis sound. You know, it defined this whole thing that is very commonplace now, where the artist is also the producer and the vocalist and making all the beats and doing all the music and doing everything. That was not the case when that album came out. Nobody did that. Like very few people could do that, and especially with more electronic music, mixing it with different sounds and vibes and styles. You know, Prince really pioneered something absolutely amazing, and 1999 was the record where that is the most clear.
Yeah. So, tell us about your favourite songs on 1999. Maybe if you've attended the tour that was there for 1999. We're very interested in seeing that as well. Or maybe some of your favourite looks. And tell us about the video clips that you liked the most from 1999 as well, with the people that Prince was associated with at the time, like Jill and Lisa and Des and everybody. So yeah, tell us what you think about 1999. Of course you'd love it being a Prince fan. That marks another This Week in Prince.
That's the end of episode 7.
Yes.
We've caught you up with all the news this week
we did.
in Prince. So, as always, like, share, subscribe, comment below.
Please,
we
yes,
love you
we love
guys.
your comments.
We just hit 20,000 views on 5 Prince movies you never saw, which is amazing.
Thank you so much.
Oh my god.
That's amazing.
We're so happy. And stay tuned next week for another This Week in Prince.
P.S. Listen to 7 after this video.
Exactly.
Bye-bye.
Bye.